Karon Momigati.
Meow. James Hetfield, what are you doing here? Meow.
How did James Hetfield get into this
I don't
interview?
know. I've been asking him to come on the podcast forever. He keeps telling me he's busy with some band called Metallica. I have no idea.
Well,
what he's
that's what he
talking
tells everyone, but the truth is he's just busy with his bees because
yes.
he's a beekeeper.
And an interesting
Apparently.
fact, which by the way, I'm a big Metallica fan, but I didn't know this. And Matt told me over the last week. He told me via WhatsApp text.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to let him talk about it because I think that's interesting.
Pass the buck back to you. I guess I don't have too much to say on that other than that I heard James Hetfield. He said in some interview, I forget who was interviewing him, but he said in his husky growl that he is a beekeeper now, and a big part of his mental focus goes into his bees and taking great care of his honeybees. I don't know how many hives he owns. I sure wish you'd send me some honey because I sure do love honey.
Who doesn't?
And I go through honey really quickly, actually. I eat a lot of honey. I'm a bear. I'm basically a honey bear.
That's awesome. I mean, who doesn't like honey? I mean, maybe there's people out there. I think there could be people out there, but
I hate it.
yeah, I really. Honey is one of those things where I would be very curious to be around the first human being who ever stumbled upon honey. A great theme, by the way. Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Great theme. Like it just gets stuck in your head.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the theme. Yeah, it's great. Hey, speaking of Metallica and James Hetfield, did they play that before some of their shows?
Oh yeah, of course. Before S&M, they did The Ecstasy of Gold, which is just awesome.
That's
but it's a great theme.
It's such an epic way to start a show. You know, it's like to start a show with that theme, you kind of have to have really epic music, I feel.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe, Death Cab for Cutie might not be able to rock the Ecstasy of Gold before their show. I don't know. They could do it ironically and then kind of march out with their acoustic guitars and sing a few lullabies, but,
Sure.
It would be a gear shift between the intro and the show itself.
If I was a betting man, I would say the people who like Good and the Bad and the Ugly wouldn't really like Death Cab for Cutie scoring the soundtrack for that movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
All right, so I do have a couple updates.
Nice.
But I actually was cool last time I asked you to go first. I sort of enjoyed it. Do you want to go first again? Because I thought it went really nicely last time. I liked hearing your update last time. That's just coming from me. There wasn't like a listener who told me that. I just enjoyed it, actually.
I've been getting fan mail all week.
Your mailbox has been full.
Yeah,
Overflowing.
Yes, it has. It's been great. No, I don't really have a ton of updates from my side. Just the only big update I have is I have been actively learning some music again, just like as a relaxation thing. Yeah, it's great. It's great. My daughter's at that age where she's getting into music. She's like, I hear her humming songs and stuff. So like when I have time, which is not much, but like I have about like, sometimes I have like 10 or 15 minutes before I have to take her to bed. And then so I break out the guitar and like I purposely learn a song in front of her. And sometimes she really likes it. Yeah. I've been, so it's been great. Like the first time I played, she was hovering around me, like watching me play. And then the second day she was like, hey, can you learn this kids? She watches a lot of kids shows. And if you have kids, basically she wants me to learn songs from Blippi and the Wiggles. So I was like, yeah, I can learn that. And hey, if you know guitar and you have a kid, easy songs to play. They're just like 3 chords and they're like the most basic chords, C and G and D. I think they shift between those 3 and you can do a lot of fun stuff with that. So I've been doing that and it's just been great. It's one of those really wholesome things that I've been loving. And that's my nice update for the week.
That's beautiful. It's a beautiful update. I love it.
Thank you.
Just want to make a quick statement, and I'm going to make this statement respectfully, actually,
Okay.
or as respectfully as I can. You mentioned Blippy.
Yeah. Yes.
Blippy really freaks me out. That's all. That's just a quick update for me.
It's interesting that you say that because like
I don't
didn't
trust
know
him.
that. I didn't know that. I was introduced to Blippy through my daughter because she was watching it, and I was like, okay, this guy is interesting. Like he's
good word.
seems to have a way with like. I mean, at least like she was like, oh my god, like she couldn't stop watching. So I was like, oh okay, well, he's definitely doing something right. But then I went online and like I was seeing like there are a lot of people who say that they get freaked out by Blippy, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. So it's interesting that you say that.
Well, yeah. It's yeah. Well, I'm a little freaked out by clowns in general.
Oh yeah.
I know that's a cliche thing to say. Everybody says,
Right.
I'm afraid of clowns. Well, guess what, bitch? I'm actually afraid of clowns. And I'm not like well, okay, what's the right word? I'm not afraid of them the same way I would be like afraid of a bear or a tiger.
Right. Of
I'm
course.
more so, I feel they make me feel uncomfortable. They make me feel a little anxious, a little tense, and a little uncomfortable. But I wouldn't say that I'm like deeply afraid of them, unless it's John Wayne Gacy, and then I'm really afraid of that
Right.
clown.
Yes.
But I'm not, normal clown. Well, there's no such thing as other clowns, other middle-aged men going to children's parties in face paint. No, I'm not afraid of them. I just don't completely trust them. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Feeling on clowns.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great update. And I'm going to share a quick update. So I follow a garden page on
Nice.
Facebook
Okay.
called Backyard Nursery Growers,
Okay.
because I propagate fig plants from cuttings that I take from fig trees, and
That's
then
awesome.
I sell them on Facebook Marketplace sometimes. Well,
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to do it anymore because it's kind of a hassle scheduling with people to come, and then you get
Yeah.
like $12 for a little baby fig tree, and it's like it's fine, but it's a great feeling to do that, because that tree might be going to someone's yard
Right.
or is going to someone's yard, and it may grow, 10 years from
Right.
now, it could be this big fig tree that yields tons of fruit every year, and their children and grandchildren might eat figs from that fig tree for forever,
Nice.
for a long time. And so it's a really cool feeling, almost of like, well, the legacy is the tree's legacy, but you're kind of birthing that legacy for that tree and for those people or that family, and it's a really beautiful feeling. But anyway, I've enjoyed doing that. I think I've sold, close to 100 now of little small fig trees,
Nice.
usually somewhere
That's
between $10 or $12 each.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I love plants, so it was really fun for me, and
And I know you love
Yeah.
fig trees. And I know you
love
love
fig
figs.
trees.
Yeah, just for perspective, just to add something here. When we were in Los Angeles, like most people, they see a celebrity or something, they stop. Matt stops when he sees a fig tree, and he's like, I gotta go check
I'm
that
a
fig tree out.
fig-tionado.
I see what you did there. Well done, sir.
Yeah, baby.
That was a good joke.
Yeah, thank you. So anyway, I love how when I said thank you, I sounded proud of my joke, because I was a tiny bit proud of it. So I like getting tips about growing, and this last week I saw something pop up on Facebook on the Backyard Nursery Growers page
Okay.
that I had never seen before and never expected, which was this sultry, maybe Russian or Ukrainian girl posting in somewhat broken English, but posting a sexy picture of herself, and the caption was like, I need help getting started gardening and learn how to proper tend my garden. And then, and some guy in the comments responded to her post and said, I'll help you tend your garden. And he misspelled a couple of words in that sentence, but we all knew what he was trying to say.
Right.
And the point is, we all know that bots and women of ill intent selling their wares are popping up everywhere on the internet and ruining it. But I never expected to see it on my favorite Facebook gardening page.
Right. Did you feel violated a little
Something
bit?
sacred has something sacred died within me that day. No, I'm just kidding. It was just like shock. Well, okay. Well, like, to be honest, I didn't love it. I kind of felt like, get the fuck out of here. This is my gardening page.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here. Listen, this is a part of my day that's pure. In this moment, what I'm doing, researching fig propagation, it doesn't get much more pure.
Right.
You are injecting impurity into the most pure part of my day. So get the fuck out of here. That's kind of how I felt. Right. I felt a little bit cheated out of the spiritual, moral self-gratification feeling that I get from signing onto that Facebook, that backyard nursery growers page on Facebook, and just feeling just like a good guy.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So get out of here. Get out of my gardening page. That's kind of how I felt.
There's a time and a place for things. This is definitely
the last place and the last time for you to be doing that.
Can you leave my gardening page alone? For God's sakes. I mean, I guess there's just like there's so much competition on OnlyFans and so like I guess they gotta start marketing themselves in all kinds of places.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, things are bad when they've reached the gardening page. It's like, come on.
Oh my God! When the OnlyFans women are getting on your gardening page,
that's when the economy is the best.
The end of the fucking world, right there.
What is your indication of a bad economy? Well,
What's an indication that the end times are near? Well, I could think of one.
Yeah, so I think your point is basically like there are some pure things in the world that we shouldn't be tainted by.
There is still sacred things within this realm, this earthly plane. So I wanted to. So that's my update. That's my life update. But I wanted to do. Could we actually do song of the day? Because I have a song of the day that I just want to mention. If that's all right.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it. I always like songs. Talking about songs.
I know, me too. I love it. My song of the day.
You started that off like a show and tell.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. I feel like it's a show and tell, and I'm just, the class is listening respectfully. Because when it was show and tell time in school, the class would always listen. I felt that they would listen so respectfully.
Right.
They were interested. Mm-hmm. I loved show and tell in school. So yeah, I like the song "I Want to Know What Love Is" by the band Foreigner.
Wow, that is a throwback if ever.
Make of that what you will, but it's the truth.
Yep.
Just a brief aside that I posted a comment on Facebook this past week, basically saying something like, I don't know, publicly or on Facebook that I had never expressed before but always wanted to, which is that I really hate this modern type of rap music akin to the sort of Lil Pump, Lil Yachty, Lil Xan, all the littles,
right?
And all the post Drake, wannabes that just flooded
mumble
out.
Rap, basically.
Yeah, mumble rap, exactly. Might as well just cut to the chase and use a term we all know what it means, that we know the meaning of. I hate that stuff, and it's been so, look, I'm really open-minded about music. I'll listen to music of all kinds. We've talked about this before. I don't care if it's pop music. I don't care if it's rock, if it's rap. I love the rap song Hail Mary by Tupac.
Yeah.
I love Biggie Smalls. I love some 90s rap. And that's not because I'm not 50 years old. Like I wasn't a teenager in the 90s going to parties listening to that stuff. I was not exposed to it until basically long after it had peaked in its popularity or whatever.
Right.
But I'm familiar with it, as most of us are. And I love a lot of that stuff. I think it has like a driving groove. It makes you want to, it makes you feel things. It makes you feel emotions. You want to get on your feet or you want to, but I really have felt that this mumble rap stuff is sort of disassociate. You just kind of disassociate. It's like elevator music.
Yep.
I don't think it's because I'm old. I genuinely think I have, listen, look, I don't think you can dismiss the opinion of someone who really loves music as quickly as you could dismiss the opinion of someone who just says things that they hear or read. This is not, I have felt this way. I feel this way genuinely, that there's very little emotional thrust in that mumble rap type music. I don't see a ton of value in it. I mean, if the value of music is I suppose you could argue there's value in the way it allows people to just space off or space out and not feel anything. Maybe there's a numbing property to that people have enjoyed. There might be some kind of value to that in a certain context, but like, I think that reaches its, stagnation point or its expiration date. I feel that the expiration date of that is long past, and I think it's survived long beyond its expiration date, and I'm sick of it. So I made some sort of post about how, I don't know, I heard somebody blasting it really loud out of their SUV near me at a stoplight, and for the first time ever, I didn't feel depressed by it. I actually felt sorry for the person listening to it, that they were still lingering under the delusion that it made them look cool to be blasting that kind of music loudly out of their car windows. Because I do actually think that not only myself, but as a society, I don't know what this is. I don't know if you feel this, Curran, but I feel this sense that people are sort of getting over that kind of music. That stuff doesn't really feel that new or that like cool anymore. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've always hated it, but I think society in general, there's a sense of that amassing in society in general. That's the sense I get anyway. Either way, I made a Facebook post about that. Not a super long one, but just normal post, just very directly expressing that sentiment. And a girl basically responded to that saying, I don't understand why, you would have a problem with whoever listening to whatever they enjoy. Now, that's a valid point, and I actually think she's probably a healthier person for having that mindset. And so I am happy for her. That being said, music is really, and I'm not saying music's not important to that individual, but music is really important to me, and therefore I do have some strong opinions about it. And I think that it's great to enjoy whatever it is you enjoy, as long as you're able to have the clarity to know if you're actually enjoying it. Right. I think that the guy blasting that stuff that is so repetitive and formulaic, and we've all heard it all sounds the same. The guy blasting that stuff out of his windows for all the world to hear, that suggests to me that he wants to be seen and heard listening to specifically that, which gives me a sense that maybe he's doing it for partially disingenuous reasons. Maybe it's not all about his internal enjoyment, his personal enjoyment of that kind of music or that song. Maybe there's also, and that's kind of judgmental of me because I've blasted songs out the window because I'm like, I love this so much, I want the world to hear. Like I get how that feels. Right. But I don't 100% trust that was his motivation for doing it that way. I think that sometimes people jump on a certain bandwagon that is trendy because it's trendy. Yeah. I don't think it's always because they have this really close personal connection with themselves and understanding of themselves and this clarity about what they personally like or love or hate or dislike. I think sometimes they're getting on some sort of a bandwagon or some sort of a trend. So I'm skeptical. At the very least, I'm skeptical that that individual was doing it for completely pure reasons, of just loving the music and really enjoying that music, and that's his only reason for. I think that it could be that he just thinks, hey, I'm in a big beefy SUV, a big cool car. I've got my windows down. I'm blasting the most modern, most trendy kind of music. At least that's what he thinks in his mind. I look pretty cool right now. I might be judging him falsely, but that's like the gut skepticism that creeps into me when I experience that. So she makes a valid point. I guess for me, it's like I don't think that all people who are listening to music, in whatever context they're listening to it, are always listening to it because they personally, genuinely love the song or the music. That's all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's all kinds of ways that people listen to music. For sure, I wouldn't say showboating, but like, music is a social thing. So sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes people try to be social with you even when you don't want to be social with them.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think that's the version of some people blasting music from their car.
Right. And I think that guy was alone, but nevertheless, it's still, what you just said still applies, because, even though he's not socializing with his own little friends group in his car at the moment, he's socializing with the world.
Right.
He's relating socially with the world by blasting that music out of his car.
Right.
It's a way to do that. I mean, for some people, it's a fashion statement. Look at the music that I like, see how modern and see how with the times I am. I'm not stuck in that old shit. This is me. This is what you need to know about me. So what the music that you show the world that you're listening to, or tell the world you're listening to, that can give them an impression about who you are. And maybe sometimes people engineer that a little bit to their perceived advantage. I don't know.
Right.
Or sometimes there's such a thing as elevator music, where it's literally serves the purpose of filling the background with noise or with soothing noise.
Yes,
And it's,
that's popular today. Like lo-fi
yeah.
background music, it's crept up a lot, and I find people listening to it all the time. Like I know people from work listen to it. I know, like my wife listens to it when she like does her stuff around the house. It's just basically, it's like background noise. I mean, it's the same reason why some people listen to like podcasts, which is basically just like some kind of like background. Of course, podcasts are a little different because it's actually people talking, so that's more of like a conversation thing. But
Yeah, they're similar though. That's a valid point right there.
yeah, right, yeah, I do find like there are similarities over there. So
They're both, because they're both low engagement media.
yes,
They don't require much from you.
no, they don't.
Especially a long form podcast like ours, for example, or like WTF by Mark Maron, or Joe Rogan's thing, where it's like this 3-hour episode or 1 hour or 2-hour episode.
Yeah,
That's not a 10-minute thing that requires your utmost attention to catch every detail. That's like you said, that can literally be this kind of soothing background noise. Hopefully soothing in our case. We would like to think. Just
are
like
you
the
at peace?
Yeah, just like does my voice bring you comfort? But yeah, you're right. It is a lot like that lo-fi music. It's that kind of low engagement listening material.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And like, so, in that sense, like there are all kinds of different forms of music. I actually would think like a lot of like mumble rap, I actually think falls into a bit of like the background music
I think so too.
kind of category, because like, when, at least when I see people listening to it, like I don't see them listen to it the way, like you said, some, people would listen to like rap music from the 90s or something, where or they would listen to Eminem, where they'd be like, oh, check out this what do you think about this line, or what do you think about, oh, that was so sick, how he rapped that whole verse. But like they're just kind of like with the mumble rap thing, it's running in the background. They're just like enjoying it. They're just like following
Yeah.
the beat, and it's kind of like a background thing, So yeah, makes me wonder actually.
Well, one thing
Yeah.
it made me realize about myself in how sort of upset I have gotten at times over that kind of music being popular. Upon reflecting on it, what it made me realize about myself is I'm coming at it with some preconceived notions of what music is supposed to be, to be fair. For one, or actually, let me rephrase that. I'm coming at it with some preconceived notions of what popular music is supposed to be. Because mumble rap is popular music, let's face it, it's
Yes,
been
yes.
huge. It's been a dominant form of music. Now, if it weren't for that fact, I don't think I'd be talking about this right now. I don't think I'd really care. Because if people were going to clubs bumping atmospheric ambient music, that's weird to me.
Yeah. Yes.
And if background elevator music is knocking really good bands off the charts or really great artists off the or being at the top of the charts of music, of course, then there's question marks in my head. Of course, you have to then opens the Pan's Labyrinth of, well, what do those charts mean? And we don't get into that right now. It's kind of a rabbit hole, but upon reflecting about how angry I've gotten at some points about the popularity of certain kinds of music, I'm like realizing I'm bringing certain preconceived notions about what popular music is supposed to be or supposed to live up to the table. And at least I know I'm more aware of that now. And I think that girl's comment kind of helped me reflect on that a little bit. I'm not saying that I think what I posted was wrong or that I no longer feel that way. I still do. But I see some of her point too. It's like, I think when I'm judging popular music, I'm judging it. First of all, I'm comparing it against other music that has also been popular previously or currently. So there's a comparison going on. That's one form of judgment I'm bringing to the table. I'm looking at other things and comparing. A form of preconceived notion I'm bringing, I think, is coming from my own personality, which is that I'm passionate. I'm sort of a passionate, kind of intense person in ways. I have an element of me that's a bit fiery or passionate, I think is fair to say. And I have a sense of like drive about things or like intensity. And I guess, I like music that is a bit aspirational. I like music that has an aspirational aspect to it that kind of inspires you or makes you want to go out and change your life or do something or make something or create something. I like music that is inspiring or sort of motivate or has a certain drive to it. Even if that drive is sort of subliminal or sort of understated within the music, because I think even very stripped down kind of acoustic forms of music can have an underlying sense of like emotional drive or struggle, sort of underwritten in the current. It doesn't, but I think that when I listen to music, I think I'm looking for that. And I think that with this mumble rap stuff, it's just not there. So that like bothers me. And again, I don't think it would bother me if it weren't so popular and huge. But when it is, it makes me worry about the world I'm in.
Well, my take on it is, you also being a musician, I think feeds into that fire that you feel about this.
Yep.
But personally, like me, I would think this is true for a lot of people. At the very least, I think, because music is art, and I think what people like about certain music is the effort that goes behind it. That there's talent that's needed to make it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like where the mumble rap hits the roof, because it's like there isn't really that much of talent. Not to say that rap doesn't need talent. Rap does. Like, I mean, there are things
Serious
that,
rap. Yeah.
yeah, serious rap. Like, there's things that, like, that rappers do that are pretty like amazing in terms of, like, how fast, how quickly they can kind of, like, the speed at which they rap, the lyrics they use. It's kind of like it's poetry, but and there's definitely like an art form to it. And I'm sure there's a lot of rap enthusiasts who would agree with you on this matter. But like, yeah, I think nobody expected the background nature of mumble rap to reach the levels that it has. And I think that's kind of like that's definitely kind of like what's feeding into your whole
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think I have a problem with the fact that no individual song from that genre is all that memorable musically.
Yeah.
When you listen to classic songs that we all know and love and remember for 50 or for 20 years or 30 years or 50 years, they have certain things in common usually, which there might be a beat that's kind of infectious and unforgettable and very unique. There's an element of uniqueness. And
Yes.
I have a problem with the fact that mumble rap is so huge and popular, but there's very little uniqueness to the individual tracks.
Right.
They all sort of seem to. Now, again, I haven't studied it and immersed myself in that genre as much as many other people probably have, but I think we've all heard it, and I've heard many different songs within that genre. Granted, the ones I hear are probably typically those very mainstream ones, but even within the realm of mainstream popular music from over the decades, the most popular songs usually had to have that element of talent where
Yes.
you kind of there's an element of amazement. And again, that goes back
like
to that
talent.
that goes back to that aspirational factor that I sort of appreciate, which is, wow, look what they did. That's kind of amazing. Like,
Right.
I'm
right,
impressed.
yes.
There's an aspect that's impressive. There is nothing about mumble rap that is impressive. Like, maybe some mumble rap song, like, for example, I'll take the guy who died young that people mourn, Little Peep. Yeah, Little Peep. He was a white kid, mumble, made rap that had that kind of mumble rap quality to the feel or the sound of it. Little Peep, a friend of mine showed me a couple of his songs, and I looked at the lyrics, and the lyrics were actually pretty cool. So lyrically, at least that one had something going for it. But across the board, most of them don't. And also, even Little Peep's stuff, most of this mumble rap stuff, even when it on rare occasion has something of substance to say lyrically or verbally in the words, the lyrics, it almost never is musically interesting or impressive. Like, it almost never has a hook or a melody where I go, wow, what an ingenious idea right there. Wow, how do you come up with that melody? Like when you listen to a Beatles song when you listen to a song that's a classic or something that's stood the test of time and is sort of in this rotation of top 40 hits over and over on the radio, any one of those songs you could pick out, literally any one of them, one of them, whether you like it or hate it, that's subjective. But objectively speaking, there's some musical element of it that is outstanding or interesting.
Right.
And if you're in denial of that, you're lying to yourself. There simply is. That's why they are remembered for as long as they are. So that's a big aspect of the problem I've had with this form of music being so popular.
Now this is an interesting tangent that you bring up. Now I'm gonna put a scenario to you just to remove the boomer grandpa aspect of this conversation.
Yeah, we're not boomers, by the way,
No,
everyone.
we're
Not
not
boomers.
boomers.
I know you've never met us. That picture of us that you see on Spotify is not from 30 years ago.
No,
It's not. It's not all that long ago.
yeah.
Just a few
I
years
still
back.
have all my hair.
I still look basically like that,
Yes.
and so does he.
Yeah, and this, but I kind of want to do this just as because you brought it up, and I'm curious as a thought experiment.
Please do.
Imagine you are somebody who lives in the '90s, or even imagine you're somebody who was around just when the Beatles were getting popular. Um, it might be easier to imagine you were somebody in the '90s who was into music. Like when grunge came out, people didn't immediately take to it. There was a counterculture that picked it up, and then it became famous. And then record labels picked it up because we know for a fact, you've told me this, that there was a record executive who actually bet that Nevermind wasn't going to go anywhere. Which, like,
Yeah. Well,
in
he didn't
hindsight,
say-
bro,
he-
what were you thinking? Bro, it was like literally one of the like a monster album, like one of the defining sounds of the '90s. So since you brought up Foreigner as well, now you're somebody in the '90s. You're
That's right.
You
I wanna know what Love
35,
Is by Foreigner.
40, or you're just whatever. You're the same age that you are right now, except in the early '90s, and you're into like Foreigner. You're into that kind of music. And suddenly, everywhere you go, people are listening to music like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Nirvana. It's like this kind of like grungy, loud kind of music that it can be borderline be depressing. What some people are saying, you're offended by it because it's like not really in line with what you've been listening to. So, what would your criticism be of those bands?
That's a great question, Karan. I will attempt to put myself in those shoes of being there.
Okay.
I think, if I'm going to conjecture on that, I think that I would have been initially hesitant to adopt it. I would have wanted to. I don't think I would have leapt on board right away because I never do. I never do. Not today, not any time. I'm always mildly skeptical of new things. That's just my my nature.
Which is totally fine. There
Yeah,
are early adopters,
Right.
and then there are people who take their time.
Yep,
That's natural.
I'm not an early adopter. I don't think I could call myself that. And I'm fine with that. I think it's maybe a good thing. I don't know. So I would be slow to jump on board with it, but I do think that those would mainly be for superficial reasons, such as production, the way the production sounded, but once you get beyond that surface layer of the texture of the guitars and how grungy and nasty they sound compared to the more smooth sound of the way guitars would have sounded in earlier rock, if you're able to look at it somewhat objectively and you appreciate interesting music and the craft that goes into creating music, which I'm going to just assume that I would in that hypothetical situation, in that time machine. I think that although I would be skeptical initially of a new burgeoning trend, and very much a very hyped new trend at the time, by the way, too. Although I might be skeptical of it initially, I do think I would at some point start to see through to the song craft and at least be able to objectively appreciate that there was melodic artistry underneath the grungy noise.
Right.
And whether or not I would love it like I do, I don't know, but I do think I would come around to being able to see the quality that was in the craft or the artistry behind it.
Right.
Even if it didn't live up to all of my aesthetic preferences.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of what I think would probably happen.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because the thing about Nevermind as an album was that, yes, Smells Like Teen Spirit was big, it was hugely popular, but then I think if I was around at that age, I also might be a little averse to it at first, but then once you I would listen to like Come As You Are, I'd be like, hey, for me that's really important because it kind of like it shows with like versatility. And it's
The
as a
song "Come
classic
as You Are."
example, yeah, so Come As You Are, because it's like
Yeah.
it's not as like it's not as loud, it's more like melodic, it has like a more approachable, it has the ability to cross over some like genre lines, just like Nothing Else Matters with Metallica. It's like there are these songs that kind of loop in a wider range of audience simply because they are, they have like just like a wider appeal to them, and I think Come As You Are and Nothing Else Matters did exactly that for both like Nirvana and Metallica. So like I think, just like as an artist, like as a musician, I think it's great if you have like just these like songs that show that you're more than just like one sound.
That's
It's
a cool. Yeah, that's a cool
yeah.
thing to think about
It,
for
it's
for,
yeah.
for musicians, all musicians.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not saying this should be gospel, but this is just something that helps me like discover new bands, because like I'll discover them through a song that appeals to me, but then I'll be like, I wonder what other songs they have. And because I already like something of theirs, like my brain is more open to accepting some of their more
Mm,
whatever you might call experimental,
yeah.
louder, whatever you might call it. So I mean, yeah. So
So it's like
that's
they needed that
something.
gateway song to hook
Yes,
you,
yes, that's a
and
great
then you
word.
were more pliant, more willing to follow them into the dark.
Yes, gateway song. It's a great way to say it. But yeah, I was thinking of like gateway drug, but like yeah,
Oh
this
yeah.
is like it's the same concept. It's a gateway to exploring and learning about something. And I mean, while you were telling me that, I looked it up, and Nevermind sold, because of that reason, probably sold 30 million copies worldwide, which is a
Wait, by
lot.
by today or by what date?
It's yeah, total sales, and in the U.S. it sold 11.5 million, but total sales worldwide is about 30 million, and it was it was only expected to sell 250,000.
Oh, a good hearty laugh at those fools.
But yeah, you can just never predict the way things will go, because
No, no, you
yeah,
can't.
it's not a product. It's not like a candy bar. You can't completely guess how people will react to something,
That's right.
which is why it becomes hard. I mean, based on what we were just saying, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the record company wanted to release "Come As You Are" first, right? Because they were like, this is a way more approachable song
They
for the
may
album.
have. That sounds right.
Yeah.
I do know that Courtney Love, she was recommending the band release In Bloom as their main single at the
Oh,
time.
okay. In Bloom.
She really had her money on In Bloom,
Okay.
which is really a great song.
Yeah. In
Um,
Bloom is.
it's a kick-ass song. It's great. And I'll never stop thinking every time I hear that Offspring song, I think it's called Self-Esteem. What's the
Mm,
one that's like do 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 do
no.
do. Yeah, yeah.
No, no, 'cause I
So
have
I'll never
myself.
stop thinking
Yeah.
and I think I'm sure a lot of other people have this thought too, but it really reminds me of In Bloom, and I'm pretty
Mm,
sure it came after. And but it's fine. It still he does it in its own. But I mean, that's the thing that pattern that In Bloom commits to in the beginning. That you know,
yeah.
um, that that thing is so distinctive and cool, and so when Offspring comes in with its version of
Yeah.
that, it always reminds me of In Bloom.
I always love the build, not the build, but like right before the chorus hits, the drum, the snare on the drum, like where he like literally like,
Oh
does the
yeah, so
whole
good.
drum fill, and then like it bursts into the chorus. It was just great.
Yeah,
Like it had
so
such
good.
like a explosive, entry into the chorus, which is what like that. I think that's my favorite part about that song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. It is a
yeah,
great chorus, that
yeah.
song.
It's
That song is the whole package. Like it has a great chorus, a great verse, a great musical motif or riff thing that it does, like rhythmic pattern that it does. It's, of course the solo is Kurt Cobain's or Burt Cocaine's typical kind of throwaway solo. Still great and feels great in the context, but his
yeah.
typical solo of just like, I'm the antithesis of Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's not going to be featured on like the 10 best solos by Rick Beato for sure. Like it's definitely not.
No, but Rick Beato does praise Kurt Cobain's songwriting
Yes.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Songwriting for sure, but maybe
yeah.
not the soloing. But
Yeah.
By the way, we love you, Rick Beato. You make
We love
great-
you, Rick
great-
Beato.
great
You're so
episodes.
great.
I love listening to Rick Beato episodes of what makes the song great, because it just like it's so much fun to listen to a fellow music lover enjoy a song.
Me too.
It's great.
So I agree. So I Want to Know What Love Is by the band Foreigner.
Yeah,
That's my pick for song of the day. But it makes me feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff being whipped around in the wind, and I just want to stretch my arms out. I mean, there's times that sometimes I'll be driving, whether it's day or night, and that song comes on the radio, and I always turn it up, and I'm like grateful that it came. That's one thing I do still enjoy about the radio, is an element of surprise, where it's this endless
Right.
shuffle that someone else has created or some algorithm has created or whatever. And so I never know what's coming. I do enjoy that. And there is a couple songs that I still get excited when they come on the radio.
Right, of course.
In the shuffle,
Yeah.
the repetitive shuffle. Like, for example, and there are songs that don't, at least where I am, they don't play that often. Like, I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. I mean, it plays semi-often, but not that often. And when it comes through the airwaves and hits me, I'm reaching for that volume knob. I'm spinning it up, turning it up. And I just, like I said, it gives me, a lot of times with a song, I'll have a visual,
Yeah, of course.
a visualization in my head of what feels like it goes with the song. And for me, when that song comes on, I just want to stretch my arms wide out and high up, and be like, it's almost like this, it's a spiritual it feels so, it lifts me into some kind of emotional cloud. It's like a levitation of some kind, and I get this visualization that I'm like on the edge of this cliff overlooking this vast landscape far below that just stretches far and wide and is covered in this kind of cloud cover. And I'm just like reaching my arms to the heavens, and I'm just letting it flow through me. That's like how I feel with that song. But enough about it. Curran, is there a song you'd like to talk about, or a song?
With like 2.5 minutes left.
Sorry, I'm sorry, dude. I'm a horrible planner.
I mean, it's my fault too, because we went on for a tangent. But it's fine, because I think a few weeks ago I did a song and you didn't, which was like like I picked like one of the newer songs, which was, it's not like a great song, but it was a fun song.
Yeah, I remember
The VGO song.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, New
I
Beginnings,
still need to
Old
listen to
Beginnings.
that one. I have it literally. It's a tab on my list of tabs in my computer on my browser, but I've been meaning to listen to it. I will listen to it.
Yeah. I would say listen to it with no like preconceived notions. But just like listen to it as if like it just came on the radio, and you're just
Curran
driving.
said this was the greatest song ever written.
The expectations are pretty high.
So what? No, it's true. When Curran tells me he's discovered a song, I'm like, okay, I will check it out. Like you introduced me to that song "Suicidal Dream" by
Oh yeah,
Silverchair.
Silverchair.
And that was that was a Curran pick back in the day,
Yeah.
and I had never heard that song. And
Yeah.
when you showed it to me, I was like, this is a cool song. I used to
Yeah.
sing that song in my car all the time, and
Yeah.
I like that song. It's kind of a little hidden gem, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Silverchair. They're an Australian band, and yeah,
Yeah.
they I don't know much about them, to be fair. Like that's the only song of theirs I've ever heard. And like yeah, I don't know much about it, but I know Australia does have obviously like a rock scene. And then, in fact, there's like I remember there was this band that was playing online, and they keep posting videos of themselves, and they're just sitting on a beach. It's just like three or four guys with long hair playing like acoustic guitar, acoustic bass, and one guy's playing these it's like it doesn't even it's like one of those like drums. It's not drums, but it's like a percussion instrument. It looks like just like a board of wood, but obviously it's something that somebody engineered. But like yeah, he just
Huh.
plays that,
Wow,
and
that's wild.
they cover all these songs. They cover like a lot of grunge songs. They even covered like Rammstein, and they do a pretty good job of it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. But so I don't really. Maybe I'll save my song for next time because I gotta like
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, no
But
worries.
like,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. I think anytime we want to talk about a song, it's fair game because hey, it's always fun to talk about music.
Oh yeah, it's so
Yeah,
fun.
I think that's one of the things that people love about music too is they get to talk about it.
That's true. One of the talking about it is one of the most fun aspects of it, actually. It's funny now that you mention it. It's
Yeah, I
true.
know. My last jab at the mumble rap crew, which is like, yo, man, listen, you like that part where he goes,
Yeah, what are they gonna
I'm so
say
sorry.
about each
I'm so
individual
sorry.
song?
If something truly brings you happiness, I shouldn't make fun of it because that is its
Yeah.
purpose. That's the purpose of music. Like, if you feel happiness when you play it, listen to it, that's great. Do it, love it, enjoy it. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, and really
It's
try to
just-
get in touch with the truth of that. Try to
Yeah.
really ask yourself, do I personally actually like this? Like as
Yeah.
you're listening to Bob Dylan's voice, do I actually think this is a good singer?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or is
Yeah,
it
but-
a barnyard rooster?
It's just like did somebody just leave their microphone inside their barn
Yeah.
all night? I can't even tell you how many times Rolling Stones is pretty much like written an ode to Bob Dylan. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, even
You
though
know-
Rolling Stone, there are many great iconic albums and bands that were trashed by Rolling Stone when
Oh,
they
yeah.
first came out or first released. Like, I don't think Rolling Stone didn't like Nevermind when it first came out. It was like
Oh, yeah.
it was lukewarm about it. But of course, if you were to ask any of the staff there now, that Rolling Stone is the biggest Nevermind fan that ever,
that ever walked the face of the earth. Oh, calm down, Charlie.
That's that same guy who thought it would sell 250,000 copies. Now he's walking around with a Nirvana T-shirt,
Yeah, probably.
making
Yeah.
his kids listen to it.
His kid listens to it and he's like, I passed on that.
Oh man, yeah. Knowing that guy, I don't know if he's ready to admit that yet, but
No.
maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah. He probably maybe phrases it in a way that praises himself. I made sure they found the right buyer.
Yeah,
Yeah, but to be fair, like I said before, it's really hard with art. You don't know what's gonna appeal to people or not. It's very hard to predict these things.
yeah,
It really is, it really is.
yeah. Especially in the commercial realm.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that cross over that are
Yes.
that are good. It's happened many times, but it doesn't always happen.
Nope.
And you don't know for sure until it's really. And also, a lot of things don't get the marketing thrust that they deserve.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's true. You never know. I wanted to. How much time do you have left there, Curran?
I should probably wrap up over here. 'Cause
Okay.
I gotta, yeah.
I have one more little thing I'd like to share, but I
No.
want to open the table to you first.
Yeah.
Is if there's anything you want to share, and no, please, I mean that genuinely. I don't want you to feel like rushed. And if we run out of time and I can't share whatever bullshit I want to share, that's totally okay. There's always next episode. So
No, go ahead.
this is so I wrote a little poem. I just wrote it on my phone in the notes section of my phone where I write most things. This one's called well, actually it doesn't. Okay, I don't like that name. It doesn't have a name. Okay. Allow me to share a quick story of woe. I was driving by the complex where Randy's Donuts is, near the Burbank airport. I decided, you know what? Yeah, I do want a donut right now. I'm going. I drove into the complex. I parked and got out of my car, walked over to Randy's. It was closed. I walked sadly away. This is a story about disappointment. I love donuts.
I know. Yeah. And it's really sad when you want something and you just can't get it because of, circumstances beyond your control. Really. Oh my goodness.
Totally.
Yeah. Those are poetry.
So anyway, well, are we out of time for the day?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm gonna bring it on home with our usual. Nice. Well, we thank you again for joining us for another episode.
The Bergotti Chronicles. Bergotti chapters.
Yeah. Always a good time. So thank you guys for stopping in. We'll see you again next time.
See you next time, guys. Have a great week.